Hello, everybody. This is Bradley Runner, and today I want to talk about what is possible for average drug-free guys in regards to bodybuilding and gaining muscle mass. And when I refer to natural, I mean someone who does not use any sort of performance-enhancing drugs that leads to more muscle mass, namely anabolic steroids or growth hormone. Now, the debate of whether growth hormone leads to size or not, let's just say that there is an effect for it. And because many people that I've actually known or from anecdotal evidence that they have gained muscle mass with growth hormone when used in conjunction with steroids, pretty much it amplifies the effects of one another. So we're just going to go over that, meaning someone who has not used steroids, growth hormone, pretty much anything that is considered a drug by today's standards. Many people use the argument that nothing about bodybuilding in itself is natural. They claim that using creatine is not natural, using protein powder is not natural, using carb powder is not natural, taking multivitamins is not natural. But for today's sake, we're going to use the word natural in bodybuilding terms. And I think that you all know what I am talking about. And when I say possible for the average guy, I mean someone who has an average structure, maybe not genetically blessed per se, but then again does not have genetics of Woody Allen or Seinfeld. Someone who has, let's say, middle of the road genetics, let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, with Arnold or Phil Heath or Flex Wheeler or Dorian Yates or Nasser El-Sonbaty being the 10s of this world, and Woody Allen being 1 in terms of muscle mass gain, that is, potential. Let's just say someone who has, let's say, 5 to 7 on a 1 to 10 scale, and has an average structure and an average height. That's who I'm talking to today. And also, let's keep in mind what kind of lifestyle this person has. Let's say this person has a 40-hour work week, cannot eat, shit, sleep, breathe bodybuilding, but nevertheless decides to become as dedicated as possible. And I myself consider myself to fit that example, actually. I am of average height, 5'10", average frame. As you can see, I have, let's say, medium-sized wrists, medium-sized neck. Ankles are medium size. Do not have the biggest rib cage, do not have the biggest shoulder width. But then again, I am not built like a rail either. So right now I'm standing at about 203 pounds or 204 pounds, depending on where I weigh myself in my home right now. And I've been training for a couple of years, and this year I plan on, after much deliberation, contemplation, and procrastination, am really aiming, if everything goes well and there's not some life-altering event, of entering my first bodybuilding show, first natural bodybuilding show, actually. And let's see what I could do. But let's just go over what a natural can gain. And although I am fairly well educated in nutrition, exercise, physiology, contributing my credentials, my academic credentials, I don't really like to read studies too much when it comes to anything but the information that's required to do my day job, which is being a registered dietitian. How, let's say, our studies in the dietetics world affects our treatment for medical nutrition therapy. But when it comes to bodybuilding, which really requires a minimal basic understanding of nutrition and human metabolism, I really don't like to delve into all this science. I believe that what is most important is what has been seen over the past few decades of bodybuilding, what someone learns in a gym, what someone learns from conversation with other people who work out, and just experimentation. However, there is a gang of nerds that I'm sure you're all familiar with, no names required, who in this gang of nerds, I look up to some of them, actually. Some of them have provided much useful information for me, actually, in terms of program design and some basic nutrition information regarding physique building, physique recomposition, so to speak. And they have done the legwork and established some standard of what a natural can gain in the first few years of training, and they have come up with the notion that a natural, provided he does everything right, can gain 25 pounds of muscle in the first year of training. Now, I think that's possible, and people, I'm not being negative here. I know everybody likes to, have a tendency to say, well, if you put a number on something, you're limiting people. If you believe that it's not possible, you are also limiting people. I'm just simply trying to be realistic. I mean, if it was possible to gain 50 pounds in the first year of training, I'd say go ahead. This is what you can accomplish. But being that newbies usually do not do everything right, and there really is a limit to how far you can push us, provided the life stressors. If you are not, let's say, living like a monk and pigeoning and holding yourself in your basement every day, and you actually attend work and go outside of your home, maybe you have a relationship, you have life stressors, and then compound this with, let's say, average genetics. I don't think we're looking at 25 pounds. I think that a more conservative estimate would be, let's say, 15 pounds of muscle in the first year with some added fat, because provided you will be in a caloric surplus and pretty much eating big in the first year, year or two, which is the only year that I actually suggest maybe doing some bulking, or maybe just a little more liberal with how much food you're eating, considering that results come very quickly when you're a beginner. Let's go with 15 pounds. And on the other spectrum, if you are just genetically blessed and you have no other life stressors, we'll go with 25 pounds. But let's keep it realistic for this conversation right now. We're going with average people right now, such as myself, you, most of you listening. 15 pounds in the first month, first year rather. Second year, the nerd gang halved this and said 12 pounds, because that would be roughly half of what you gain in the first year. And me, I'd be halving for this estimate, the 15 that I estimate, and conservative estimates, 7 pounds. But think of that. That's 2 years in which you gain 22 pounds of muscle. That is an enormous gain of muscle within 2 years. So even if you didn't gain all that muscle mass that possibly could be achieved naturally, you're going to look like a different person. Literally. Your body will be unrecognizable if you gained 22 pounds of muscle and you're under 6 feet, which most men in America are. You're going to look very different. And then let's say the third year, that is halved again. So with the information of the other folks who did their leg work that I'm referring to, they have that again. So let's say it'd be 6 or 7 pounds in the third year. I think, let's say, go by my example, maybe like 3 or 4 pounds in the third year, and then it trickles off little bits, drips and drabs after that. That's when you're going to really have to become creative with your program design, specialize on certain muscle groups, perhaps, most definitely actually. You might have to specialize in certain muscle groups maybe in the second year actually, depending on the rate at which your easily responsive muscle groups grow. Some men are blessed. They could just stick with the basics. They could be married to the squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, bent over row, barbell curl, dips, and everything just develops nice and evenly. But if you want to make changes after that, you're going to get a little creative and find out what's lagging to bring those muscle groups up so that you can gain those, I don't know, at that point, ounces of muscle, grams of muscle. But, in the end, maybe in the 4 or 5 years that you are training, you could gain, if you're an average guy, of average stature, average height, average structure, 30 to 40 pounds of muscle. 30 to 40 pounds of muscle, you will definitely look a different person. And maybe, for the genetically elite out there, can gain 50 pounds of muscle. I don't think that's possible for most human beings. I think that's really the outliers of this world can gain 50 pounds of muscle naturally. Drug-free, no growth hormone, no insulin, no steroids, just food and the more food-based supplements such as, if it was for convenience, I don't really even consider them supplements, carb powder, protein powder, maybe creatine, whatever. Maybe if they give someone an edge, I don't think supplements are magic. But, they do have their role, and I guess it gives some people an extra edge. Me, I focus on food. So that's it. I believe those are regular, pretty good, reliable standards. In the end, you will gain the 30 pounds. It might take you longer than the estimates of everything going perfectly, such as the Nerd Gang has outlined. But I'm going to put my little twist on it. I think they've done their due diligence. And I'm not going to go into the whole fat-free mass index thing. I know that from one study, if I recall correctly, again, I'm not even a studies guy, considering how many studies I've read in my academic career. I know there was a study of, I think it was either 1950s bodybuilders or 1960s bodybuilders, some USA contest, and this seems to be the gold standard study that everybody refers to. And anybody who has a fat-free mass index of above 26 has to be on steroids. Maybe, who knows? I think it might be a reliable tool, but I'm really not going down this whole thing with my YouTube channel, pointing out who's fake or not. I'm here to relate to the average man. I'm not here to start these accusations of who's natural and who's not. There will be an outlier. I mean, I know that's pretty trendy these days, but, I speak to you, the common man, and that's because I think that I am pretty common at this point in bodybuilding. I think that perhaps my genetics are, maybe like if Flex Wheeler is a 10, and as I said before, if Woody Allen is a 1, maybe I'm a 6 or a 7. Some body parts respond very easily on me. And I know that there's, in terms of, coaches, dietitians, bodybuilding trainers, and gurus and personal trainers, people want to see if someone is walking the walk as well as talking the talk. And again, I'm here to just show who I am anyway. I don't even care if I'm in contest condition or not. I'm not. My show is in the fall, the one that I'm actually planning for if everything goes smoothly. And I have no shame in showing what kind of shape I'm in now, just to show you all that I actually do practice what I preach. Yes, not in contest condition actually, but I think for a 5'10" man, weighing 203 pounds, 204 pounds, maybe I'm carrying a little more fat than usual, but I think that I've done an alright job for myself in terms of physique building. As you can see, legs happen to be my strong point, my quads happen to be my strong point. Definitely working on my calves, that needs a little work. As you can see, where my fat is distributed, I definitely, come contest preparation time, problem area is probably going to be the love handle area probably, but we can take care of that. Not carrying too much fat, I think. You can see more of my physique here. Got to work on my posing, which my friends are going to be helping me with. Definitely, I think my shoulders, arms overpower my pecs. I got some good track development. So yes, you can see I'm, pretty dedicated to this. I love it, and I just wanted to show you who I am. Definitely not Mike O'Hearn, not Cali Muscle, not C.D. Fletcher. I'm definitely not up there with the ranks of Kai Green, never will be. Don't plan on it. Just happens to be a passion of mine. And that's it, people. I hope this message is good. You found my message useful. It's nothing really new. Definitely not new. It's been beaten to death, actually. But I just wanted to give you my take on it. My way of expressing my outlook on the whole thing from my experience and observation. So it's been great talking to you, and have a good day. Thank you.